When to get out. Buzzkill? What? Get out? By now, I've hopefully gotten you to the spot where you are ready and raring to go. And now I'm laying this chapter on you? You might think right about now, but wait, you just spent an entire book getting me ready to operate an STR, and now this? Yes, because there will come a day when it is time to move on to other things. Retire, return a property back to a long-term rental, sell it, etc. The bubble will burst. Nearly every week I see some new article out warning that short-term rentals will soon be history. Certainly the flood of unregulated STRs will be. From towns that flat out ban them to neighborhoods up in arms over party houses and parking nightmares in their quiet suburbs, things are changing by the minute. Increasingly prohibitive controls are being put in place in my area, throughout the United States, and beyond. In most cases, this is a positive change. I've seen more and more areas requiring hosts to get STR licenses with their respective cities and the blessing of their nearby neighbors. While challenging considering the bad press that a handful of STR hosts have provided the media, having the cooperation of your neighbors can be essential to your success in the STR world. The need for quality housing. I told you at the beginning of this book that I was going to guide you into creating something of unique value for yourself and the guests that you host. I think I've done that, but I would be remiss if I didn't address the elephant in the room, which is the housing situation in our country today. In the past 2 years, partly because of COVID, as well as the resulting supply chain issues and financial woes, we have had a surge in property prices and a growing lack of quality, long-term rentals. Landlords who are tired of dealing with low-income, low-quality renters are heading over to the STR side of things. And who can blame them when their income can sometimes be more than twice what a long-term rental can bring with less wear and tear? The past is behind. Learn from it. The future is ahead. Prepare for it. The present is here. Live it. Thomas S. Monson. Just as there are people looking for unique and personal short-term stays, there are also people who just need a decent place to live, a place that is well cared for, one in which the owners, landlords provide a well-maintained home for a fair rent. And these places were already hit or miss before the advent of short-term rentals. Now, in some areas, they are a scarcity. Rental homes have often been rife with poor fixes, poor maintenance, and are often in poor neighborhoods. And along with them, the term landlord has become a derogatory one that immediately connotes a money-grubbing slumlord. Running an STR will teach you so many things. The art of hospitality, certainly, but also how to be a good human, how to provide a thing of value, and to do it with kindness and empathy. I think these traits can then transfer over to long-term rentals. Not just transfer, but grow into an ethic we can all live with. Fix things when they are broken. Provide a place of value, all in exchange for a fair rental price. As my husband and I turned our first home into a rental property, it was a simple decision for me in deciding what kind of landlord I would be. I would be the one who fixes things. In 10 years, I've had 4 different tenants. 2 were problem tenants, late rent, if at all, shut-off utilities, overgrown grass. The other 2 have been wonderful. One couple stayed with us for 6 years and told me once that I was the best landlord they had ever had. Running an STR can do the same for you. It can teach you to provide a good, welcoming home to another person, whether they stay for 1 night or 1,000. It makes financial sense for now. When we purchased Cottage West and began renovating her, the rents in our neighborhood were very low. So low that I would have cleared less than $100 per month above the loan payment I had incurred as part of the full renovation we had done. Our plan at the time was to renovate it and rent it out with the potential future of living in it ourselves once we retired. The chance to actually make our money back quicker renting it out as an STR was quite appealing, and that is what we did, a financial step up for other things. I mentioned in the preface that choosing to STR can open the door for other things. The book you are holding in your hands is a prime example of this. By making nearly 3 times the amount of money I did cleaning houses, and over 4 times the amount it would have made as a long-term rental, our STR allows me to stay home and write. For many budding authors, They walk the knife's edge of having to provide for themselves, and often their families, and also create something that people will want to read. It takes time to do that. It has a steep learning curve. And the income that our STRs provide has made that road to authorship easier. What do you dream of doing or creating? Having an STR or two or more can allow you the freedom to do whatever your heart dreams of. I know one STR owner who has a handful of properties, processes her cleanings and the management of the properties, lives in Germany half of the year, and travels the world the other half. Owning and operating our STR has allowed me to work from home and become a foster and adoptive mother to 2 little ones. It also helped me to be a better mother to my children. I'm less stressed, less under the gun to get a ton of things done on the weekends that I would normally be too busy to do on the weekdays. Finally, owning the 2 houses and 2 RVs and operating them all as STRs for hopefully the next decade will eliminate our mortgage debt in record time, allowing us to retire comfortably and even give us a chance at long yearned-for travel to far-off destinations. Eventually, though, our kids will be grown and gone. In another 12 years, debt-free, it will be time for us to retire fully. When we do, the properties we have that are actual houses, Cottage West and Cottage East, will convert from STRs back to long-term rentals, giving back to the community these 2 homes. I'll likely keep the Hedy Lamarr Airstream as a cute little she-shed riding retreat that doubles as a fun place to host occasional friends or family members, and we can either sell the Proud Mary RV or use her to travel the United States. Be the landlord you would want to rent from. I've rented some truly awful places in my life. My late teens and early 20s were filled with a variety of challenging locations, aging apartment buildings with a medley of problems and rather unresponsive management. And when I became a homeowner myself, I began to understand the scale of need that a property has. There is no fix it and forget it, yet many landlords try to do that very thing. I've watched, with no small amount of frustration, the troubles that our neighbors in an aging apartment building across the street have had with absentee owners who are interested only in the almighty bottom dollar. Recently, the new owners decided that trash pickup was too expensive and canceled their service, telling the tenants that they would have to each get a contract with the city and pay for their own trash service. For weeks, the trash has been piling up higher and higher, attracting vermin and degrading the property further. If you own your property, consider a time in the future when you will no longer rent it as an STR, but as a long-term rental instead. Think about the landlord you want to be. Yes, you will still run into the occasional bad tenant, but I'm a firm believer in putting my best foot forward. A good tenant will find you and be thankful that you are a step above the rest. There are many reasons to plan on getting out of the STR business, just as there are plenty of reasons to be in it. Choose wisely and with clarity on what your particular needs and goals, and those of your community, are. The day after tomorrow. I'm a huge fan of Joanna Penn, an author and podcaster, and while nearly all of her work is focused on success as an author, Joanna is a futurist. She spends a significant chunk of her time focusing on the question, what comes next? Companies rise and fall thanks to world events often completely outside of our control. Never has this been more evident in our recent history than it was with COVID. We are still struggling with the virus, supply chain issues, and more as a result. Restaurants, the travel industry, even the labor force in general, are still reeling from its effects. And now we have rising inflation and possible imminent recession to work through. Look to the future, the day after tomorrow, if you will, in order to anticipate what comes next. Nothing lasts forever. Keep your finger on the pulse of the market and a sharp eye on trends, and you will know when to pivot and evolve your business. Whether it is taking it in a unique direction, think of the OMG category on Airbnb, or returning to a long-term rental, or even rebranding your space as an artist's retreat or something else, keeping your eye to the future can never hurt.